Allez, on perd pas de temps. Let's go. Et finir de scène. Alors, c'est vrai. Quoi on offre? Deux possibilités. Soit on a l'offre de machin. Il y en a d'autres. Si on lui donne, il va s'occuper d'un foyer pour la femme. Tandis que là, je pense que je vais lui remettre la lettre. Et que je peux.
A contest for the guests of Cordona. Find hidden.
Palais mental. Façon de... Thème. Alors donc ça, comme on aurait pris, c'est Thomas Norton est un débauché qui a commis un crime mérite d'être vu. Le faire de la liberté d'être humain. Et la photographie qu'elle a envoyée à la régularisation.
Have you thought it all through?
Almost. The refugees, what will happen to them?
Well, I wouldn't be standing here in this fancy office if I didn't know how to pull the right strings. In fact, it's the only thing I know. The local governor will receive a decree signed by the House of Lords containing a request to patriate the refugees in the name of the Crown.
From where did you gain such influence?
I never asked you how you found the photograph. So don't ask the magician how he performs his tricks.
But how can I believe you?
Ugh, I presume you do believe in my selfishness. The initiator of the refugee salvation will be none other than the British envoy, savior and protector of those in need. It's a win situation for me too. Now, what about the photograph?
You deserve to be punished, but the greater good is what matters here. I won't bargain it for justice for Naylor.
I'm glad that this situation is over.
It will be over when you settle the matter of the refugees.
You have my word, Mr. Holmes.
Oh non, on se retrouve encore ici.
Mr. Holmes, you've returned. Have you uncovered anything new about the theft?
I've brought news, but not all of it will please you.
Fill me in, Mr. Holmes. I won't shoot the messenger.
I tracked down Boniface Mercurio.
J'ai laissé le...
I presume he wasn't delighted about the situation.
He was not having a good day on account of his murder. Killed in his own flat by the same person that stole his painting.
Oh, sweet Mercurio. Perishing in the pursuit of his art. How apt. I will miss his exceptional sense of humor.
I located the thief, but found him rather cold. He was tight-lipped about the painting, too.
Huh, he's dead. How very droll, Mr. Holmes. One presumes you were not responsible.
It was an accident at the refugee camp. He impaled himself on his own knife.
Life is nothing if not cruel and capricious. What about the stolen painting? Have you located it?
I found the painting, but I could not retrieve it.
Well then, where is it?
In Bernadotti's office.
Bernadotte? That shady businessman? Why would he steal it from me?
I'm afraid you'll have to ask him yourself.
I take it you found something more then. What happened to your crusade of truth? Was it not that important after all?
No truth will satisfy you, Mr. Vogel.
It was not an attack, Mr. Holmes. If you've chosen not to tell me, I respect your intention. But it is just rather boring, isn't it?
It is what it is.
Well, now that we've resolved all of our outstanding matters, I have a gift for you. I took the liberty of having it delivered to Stonewood Manor. I am told it belonged to your mother.
And what exactly have you sent me?
Frankly, I'm not sure how to answer that. I trust you'll know.
Previously you mentioned there may have been more to my mother's passing than consumption. It appears you were right.
Oh dear. I'd hoped to be wrong.
She was unstable, mentally unwell. She required sustained specialized treatment, but her madness persisted.
I knew that Violet had disappeared from the public eye, but had no idea of her suffering. I cannot imagine what you're feeling.
I'm fine.
Et le mec, hein. Attends, calme-toi.
Thank you, Mr. Vogel. I am curious to see what you have procured.
Ouais, 4. Porte. Un colis.
Mr. Sherlock Holmes, I presume.
Correct. With whom do I have the pleasure?
Emilio Estevaux, happy to make your acquaintance. I am here on behalf of Mycroft, your brother. He's on his way to Cordona. In the meantime, he requests your assistance with a sensitive matter. My orders are to provide you with the details.
Je sais trop à faire.
I'm afraid I don't have time for this now.
I hope that you will reconsider. If you do, I'll be here.
Pas maintenant. J'ai des Minecraft. Où il est mon collègue? Où mon beau collègue?
Hey, this is the luggage we brought from London, isn't it?
Là, il y a cette partie de mes... Mais... C'est pas par ici. Donne-moi dommage.
Sharp and well balanced. It would be a pity to leave such a tool behind.
À la porte. Bien. Alors, vraiment à la porte. Un gros paquet comme ça, j'arrive pas à le trouver. Vraiment. Vous êtes sûr? What the...
It's a bizarre object, and yet oddly familiar. Yes. A room full of curiosities and artifacts. I think I can find it in the manor.
Sherlock. So, you continue to pursue the imaginary. I had hoped you might have got all this out of your system by now.
Mycroft, what are you doing here? Get out of my house.
It's my house, actually. I've come to bring you back.
I have no interest in returning, let alone with you. I know you lied about Mother all these years, claiming she was merely ill, but she was unstable. She never had tuberculosis. She was not recuperating, but mentally deteriorating, and you never once thought to tell me. How dare you?
I shall not indulge this petulant tantrum. You can just tire yourself out and then slink back to London with your tail between your legs.
Just tell me everything. I'm an adult now. Show me the basic courtesy of an explanation. You know I will find out eventually.
The goal was stability, and that's what you got. The right thing for everyone was to try and move on from her passing.
The consequences of one's actions determines what is right or wrong.
Yes, exactly. The ends justify the means. After leaving Cordona, Sherlock, you had a normal childhood. In London, I was able to support you, guide you, shape you into a fine and productive young man. You have so much potential, so much to offer society.
But that's not the end. Now I found the truth, and it has shattered everything I knew about her, about you, and about myself. I feel unstable because of you. Your actions were not justified. Lying never is.
Oh, grow up, Sherlock. It was a white lie which has as much use in the realm of the interpersonal as the international. It is time you come to accept that some things are bigger than yourself.
Oh, you are full of it. You like to pretend you care about the big picture, but it's just an ego trip. You like knowing more than others. You like greasing palms and rubbing shoulders with the rich and powerful. You like having eyes and ears everywhere. The fact it helps the nation is incidental, because all you care about is yourself.
It's true. I have agents everywhere, including Cordona. If you weren't so damn stubborn, you'd realize that means I'm only here for you.
Attendez.
So, are you ready to take on the task?
You have my attention, Mr. Estevo.
Mark Ridley, the son of General Arthur Ridley, is being blackmailed. Suffice to say, the compromising material is of a delicate nature. The matter is of no small importance to the Crown, especially given the status quo on Cordona.
What about the status quo?
The Ottoman population holds a certain animosity towards the colonial rule. It's been this way since we took over the island. General Ridley made concessions with their leaders, but I'm afraid we are still teetering on the edge of open hostility.
Non, là. Alors, je dois...
What does Mycroft want me to do? Retrieve the blackmail material?
No, sir, nothing of the sort. Mark Ridley is meeting the blackmailer atop the old city bridge tower. You shall observe from a distance, then establish the blackmailer's identity. Do not attempt to arrest him. We'll handle it from there.
Saving the best for yourself? Fine.
There is a cafe just over the bridge that provides a good vantage point. Please report to me when you are done. I'll be waiting for you here, and remember, discretion is of the essence.
Another one. There must be something important behind it. I can feel it.
Merde. Alors, j'ai décelé la présence d'un autre fragment de souvenir, je me suis... Allez, grand et pâle, ainsi que des reflets d'une loupe de la voix de la main.
Another one. There must be something important behind it. I can feel it.
Ah.
I remember returning home with a pair of perfect sticks. We wanted to turn them into training swords.
Oh, that's right. We stood there, frozen, staring at something huge in the main hall. It was a giant aquarium with a living mermaid in it.
Impossible. It must have been something else. Oh, of course, that mortifying hoax presently taking up space in our front yard.
Well, fine. Your memory's better than mine. But I'm sure we started examining it immediately. And someone else was around too.
It was my mother. She asked what I thought of the artifact.
You were really concentrating and holding something in your hand.
I inspected it with a magnifying glass and was able to confirm it was made of two different skeletons. The mermaid was a fake.
And so it was time to smash the thing. Your mother took a hammer and...
Slow down, John. That's not how it happened. I remember other people joined us. The workers took the artifact and placed it into the cabinet of curiosities. It became part of Mother's collection of fakes. She always said that the truth lies in the details. This mermaid helped me to learn that.
Voilà.
Ah yes, my mother's studio. She was an authenticator and this was her cabinet of curiosities.
I never saw the point. What does it matter if some artifact is real or not? It still exists.
Personnel. Médecin. Madame Holmes se représente à l'intérêt intellectuel de test idéal pour mettre. La ferme conviction que c'est mon hypothèse et doit juste de plus, cela m'offre l'occasion rare de faire des traits. Il est déjà apparu tous les noms de hors norme. Comme que la maladie de la mère est bien que je ne puisse mener un examen médical approfondi. J'espère que ce jeu donne. Un diplôme déchiré trouvé dans le pièce. Une fois les morceaux rassemblés et comme suit. Au nom a bien subi des preuves exigées par la loi. En médecine.
Clearly, it was deliberately torn. I wonder why someone would do that. The Tulpa, Studies in Tibetan Mentalism. An impressive number of bookmarks. Someone was rather obsessed with this subject.
Ah, encore une lettre. Mon cher frère, j'ai eu vent de ton arrivée récente encore. Ah, es-tu venu me rendre visite? Nos soirées à percer manque, même si nous étions. Donna accueil. Retrouvons-nous sur cette place. Oh, et ne m'attends pas. Et ne demande pas. Ça parle de toi.
When you're finished here, can we build a wigwam from the blankets? Like in the good old days.
And this one was brought from a German museum. They claimed it belonged to Vikings. Nonsense, of course. Vikings never had horns on their helmets. The so-called mummy of a Persian princess. The defrauders did good work, but missed one small detail. It's the mummy of a man.
Oh, Cthulhu. Et... 1852.
1852, Bingley, West Yorkshire. This photo caused a lot of fuss. My mother spent some time to prove it was a fake.
On a quoi?
So many calling cards. Mycroft liked to keep useful people at hand.
Cher Monsieur Holmes, je souhaite vous faire part de ma plus sincère gratitude pour l'aide que vous avez mis à l'idée de passer votre œil actif et votre esprit acéré. Je suis assuré de voir en moi un ami précieux.
Dated 24th of April, 1869. Carefully opened.
Encore Monsieur Mycroft Holmes, l'hôtel de ville de Cordona vous informe que octobre concernant la mort de Madame Colette Holmes a été attribuée au juge Dougal. Votre demande de procès en huis clos a été acceptée. Par la présente, nous vous informons. Et comme et vous présenter à la cour d'assises.
This drawer was always closed. Only Mycroft knew how to open it.
I remember we tried to break it open and spy on him, but alas, had no success. Maybe today's the day. Oh, Sherry.
Reliable and driven. I recognize Mycroft's handwriting. Officer Luciano J. Placido.
Ah. Et hop. Pas ça. On laisse une...
Ah, the memory comes back. We snuck about watching him.
He closed the drawer and went to the hall. We were like two shadows crawling behind him.
I remember this cozy blanket. It was perfect for...
Wigwam! Oh, that was a joy to build them. Imagining ourselves as wayfarers on the other side of the world.
Then he threw some logs into the fire and sat in his armchair to read.
It's as boring now as it was then. I'm sorry, Sherry, but I think that's it.
Wait, John, we never use the fireplace in the mornings. What if... A bit of juniper in the fireplace created a soothing atmosphere. It's the little things, isn't it? I think this is what we're looking for.
Et voilà. Yes. Et hop.
We made it. So what's there?
Alors à l'intérieur, on a une bonne bouteille.
Single malt whiskey. Mycroft's favorite. Gifted by Queen Victoria herself.
Alors, une demi-bouteille de whisky sain. Single malt. Fait de Mycroft, nous l'avons. À l'intérieur du tiroir fermé à clé, du bureau, du cabinet de curiosité, accompagné d'une pipe portant. Probablement, il semble que le whisky soit présent venant de la reine Victoria.
Otto Richter. This one is rather thick. Mycroft can be truly dogged in his research.
Otto Richter est âgé de 45 ans et vient d'une famille respectée de Berne, en Suisse. Célibataire, il n'a pas d'héritier connu. Docteur en médecine, diplômé à l'université de Genève en Suisse, la remise de son diplôme a été repoussée d'1 an en raison d'un mal mineur d'affectation. Ok. Ses parents sont morts du choléra en 1863. Il ne lui reste qu'un seul proche de la personne de Klaus, son demi-frère, 35 ans, résident.
Dossiers on the most influential people on Cordona. Mycroft always had a habit of building files on everyone he met.
Alors.
Oh, I remember these. We used them to spar together until Mycroft found out and forbade us from using real weapons.
It's a pity how many amazing things are missing from this room.
Another fake Holy Grail. Its owner claimed to be the heir of King Arthur. Scarcely believable. He also insisted a deadly rabbit was hunting him. Watkinson and Holman, Chapter 1, by Wallace Dioram.
Oh, Mycroft. He always acts so serious, but then reads tripe like this.
John, if I remember correctly, you couldn't put this book down. Mother said this was among the hunting trophies of a Scottish Viscount.
So he tried to persuade everyone that his forest was inhabited by these beasts. It would have been thrilling if it were actually true.
The full plate armor of Sir Robert Saunford. I was told my father won it in a wager.
Armour is armour, but look at his sword. Oh, how badly I wanted to wield the blade. Maybe you take it instead of your pistol.
I'm starting to remember something.
Look, it's Roger. This jolly old man's well preserved. Even looks refreshed.
I doubt he drew much interest at the auction.
That's for the best. I'd be upset if he fell into the wrong hands.
One of the most ridiculous fakes I ever saw. Its owner insisted it was a polar bear. He thought the white paint on the brown fur wasn't noticeable.
Je vous jure, c'est un ours polaire. Voilà. Mycroft n'apprécie pas les méthodes. Et chez l'étagère du...
I used this ladder to look at the top shelf, right? On the day of Mother's breakdown upstairs.
Right you are, Sherry.
We heard a noise. I can't recall of exactly what. And we didn't have a great view from behind the statue. Books and papers from the table somehow ended up on the floor. Now it's coming to the surface. I feel it.
Un truc dans le genre là parce qu'il était monté à l'étage pour... Puis... Oh, ils sont planqués. 8. Je vais juste tester une petite chose. Ah.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Et un truc. Et un.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Pas du mot.
You're not even trying,
non, en fait, on avait
Sherry.
déjà regardé le truc. Pour moi, il disait qu'il était monté, donc c'est... On était ah, non, on avait monté sur l'étagère pour regarder.
Come on, Sherry. Let's go outside. Wait. Did you hear that? Come here, Sherry.
You call this progress? Charlatan, amateur. I'm not letting you anywhere near my mother again.
So there was a quarrel between them.
Tout ça s'est produit peu après l'incident dans la chambre de Violette, le 9 avril. Cher avait décidé de jouer avec des artefacts dans le cabinet de curiosité. Et je l'y ai bien sûr accompagné. Nous avons par conséquent été les témoins involontaires d'une altercation entre Mycroft et Otto Richter. Le frère de Sherlock était en colère. Il était convaincu que le docteur Richter avait fait quelques expériences sur leur mère et que cela ne pouvait pas passer comme... Il a alors traité Otto de charlatan.
I heard a noise in the hall. Let's check it out.
Il est là.
Sherry, look. We've got a parcel here. Hurry up and let's see what's inside.
Cher Monsieur Holmes, je vous attends au manoir de Kurt Matthew, lequel se trouve sur Turquoise-Island, en face de l'abbaye de Cordona, dans le nord du Pont-Sarré. Venez de se... La chose vous incommode. Oh, c'est vite. Post-scriptum. C'est fait parvenir.
An invitation that comes with a mask. We can't miss this, Sherry.
De la beauté. L'abbaye. Costume. Ah, la vengeance. Absolument pas. Ah, faut que je fasse tout ça.
Extra, extra! A historic death! The local archaeologist killed Theodore Gilden because of ancient Roman treasures!
Monte le truc et... passe. L'abbaye est là. Pardon, j'ai un bac. Qui est là?
Welcome, sir. I do hope you enjoy yourself.
Enjoy the evening, sir. There is still plenty of time before the grand finale.
All right.
Ah ouais. Ah, c'est sûr.
What if I write an article about these people here? Can you help me gather information about Cordona's elite?
Alors, il m'a demandé des niches pour lui. Exposer les lecteurs.
My goodness, Sherlock. They made a blood fountain.
No, John, it's definitely not blood, just wine. Go is it a guess?
Oh, there's beauties. Manchio's is the best, as always.
Hey, Ansel, I see that look in your eyes.
Do you know what was here before Manchiosa's family bought it?
C'est parti. Alors, on regarde. Oui, non. Peut-être le magie. Avant de revenir, le manoir appartenait à un architecte occulte. Il avait consacré sa vie à l'occulte. Et que les cercles de magie étaient inconnus. Et pour cette auteur et que la structure correspond en effet à certains. Oui. Un jour, l'architecte dit simple tâche de sang.
That's what I like about this party. Bring me more dirt, Sherry. One more piece, and I can expose these base head. Curtains do not guarantee privacy.
And you still need a crack, despite being ethereal.
Il me faut 2 personnes isolées. Hop là, on va faire. Que là, on voit.
Manchio's had to enforce the masks after the scandal.
Hop. Ah, voilà. Mettre en lumière le scandale de l'identité. Hop, c'est parti. Relais sans main. Et. Mais n'importe quoi. J'ai eu vent d'un scandale qui s'est déroulé lors d'une soirée passée. Le vice-gouverneur Khigurum a été découvert par sa future épouse, une duchesse de compagnie de plusieurs jeunes hommes. Oh. Monsieur avait changé de bord. Le mariage était certes de nature politique, mais les sentiments de la duchesse, eux, étaient... L'incident a provoqué une crise politique. Ordonna il a pru. Le gouverneur en faible protestant.
I'll pin them down with this scoop. Thank you, Sherlock.
Maintenant, on va... On va être rentré par là. Ah, on a vu. Donc je suis pas allé là-bas de tout. Ah, bah, là, bien.
Sherlock! Friend! I wasn't sure you'd come.
Werner, I see you are not yourself.
The more time you spend here in Cordona, the more I feel it my duty to bring you into our world and show you all we have to offer.
And what is on offer today?
Pleasure, indulgence, relief, and relaxation. You've earned some time for yourself, have you not?
Oh, ouais.
Those who know me would say I'm incapable of it.
Nonsense. I refuse to believe there is anyone permitted to know Sherlock Holmes.
Salut Erix.
You may be right.
Then free yourself from inhibition and expectation. The night is young, and so are the guests. You should try to enjoy both. It's not healthy for handsome men to spend every night alone, and certainly not in a house filled with such melancholic memories.
I must admit, my travels have proven more taxing than expected. I'm less confident in my life and myself. Time of relaxation seems a distant dream.
So can I tempt you with a physical aid to your moral consolations? There's wine, of course, and something to smoke, or perhaps an artificial paradise? Yes, something more spiritual, a potentiator to sharpen the mind. A 7% solution of, well, that'd be telling, but you must try it.
Ça serait dangereux.
My mind is my most valuable asset and a finely tuned instrument I will not risk impeding its function. My ultimate duty is to provide the world with truth, and I do that perfectly well as is.
Duty? You've never cared about that before.
Of course I do. Exposing a lie, revealing a fact, that is a moral responsibility.
That's not morality. Morals are what happens afterwards when truth collides with consequence. Do you ever follow up on cases you solved? Do you ever see what happened next, visit the victims, ensure justice is served in the courts? And how do you choose where to direct your attention? Are there not deserving causes to which your brilliance could be applied but isn't?
You ascribe me more power than I possess. I have a narrow skill set and work within that mandate. What occurs afterward is irrelevant.
With every action or inaction, you place a finger on the scales of morality. Many in the city would see you as abdicating your responsibility.
I haven't.
Not me, of course. Morality is subjective, just like truth. There is little to be gained from indulging in it, and far better things to indulge in. Now I must insist on easing any burdens I've placed upon your shoulders. Show yourself a kindness, and try this rather delectable concoction.
Dire que non.
I am
Oui, le
perfectly capable of coping with myself without medical assistance.
Then I shall press you on it no further. But please do not refuse my gift. Take it with you as a souvenir of this special night.
Souvenir of what, exactly? But, all right, if only to put the matter to bed.
And now, our evening begins in earnest.
Les tableaux, mais arrête.
I just remembered. I'm sorry, Sherlock. My mind's delightfully impaired. Please take this key. It opens the altar room, past the library.
Pardon? Altar room? What now, Werner?
Go quickly and find our Fabio. Only you can make him talk. I'll join you in a minute.
De preuve. Ça, Vogel m'a confié une clé qui devrait me permettre d'entrer dans la salle de l'hôtel. Trouver un usage pour la clé. Hop. Bibliothèque. On avait vu les bibliothèques tout à l'heure. Donne. Oh oh.
My God. Was he here this whole time?
Aïe aïe aïe. Mon poignard. Ça n'est qu'un décor.
This crude tattoo partially covers as slave branding. A blunt force trauma may have suffered an internal hemorrhage. The dagger is heavy and sharp, but lacks balance. This golden handle has a bloodstain on it. This worm-like sigil has been drawn with his own blood. The victim has clenched the fabric so firmly in his fist that it's nigh impossible to remove it. The wound is deep. A precise strike reached the heart. He died right here. The sign reminds me of the astrological symbol for Mars. Werner, care to explain what is going on here?
On nights like these, it's not unusual for some attendees to get a little exuberant. It's part of the appeal. Unfortunately, it appears things have gotten out of hand. Yes, some are more prone to bend the rules of morality.
That's murder. I doubt there's anything left to bend. Why did you not tell me immediately? We were chatting about trivial matters for some time.
If I'm completely honest, Sherlock, I've consumed a rather potent cocktail of substances. My attention slips and drifts, but I'm glad I thought to call for you.
You sent me a disguise.
Oh dear, did I? Well, since I found the body, Mr. Manchios has agreed that you can investigate the matter. I promise my mind will behave itself going forward.
All right, pull yourself together, Werner. What is it about these nights that you were so eager to share with me?
Well, they're not always in the evenings, but they are in the shadows. People gather to test their boundaries in a safe and consensual atmosphere, often with more stains than your typical crime scene. But that is the point. Who are we to judge?
I suppose that's fair. What about today, then? Was anything different?
Well, I was invited as a special guest. It was supposed to be a time of both divine and carnal pleasures. A scratch for every unconventional itch.
I imagine you're reeling from your shattered expectations.
On the contrary, there is still spectacle, stimulation, and release, merely in a different form. I like to let life entertain me.
Or death. Mr. Manchios is the owner of the manor, yes?
And the host of Cordona's most memorable parties. He promises even the ugliest guest a partner for the night. And for the ones with more unconventional tastes, Mr. Manchios provides other services.
What a caring person.
You cannot begin to imagine.
The police remain unaware of this tragic event?
Some of them may be hiding behind their masks. They conceal many things. but we didn't want the authorities to create more problems. Besides, after a few cocktails, their incompetence will have soared to new heights.
How do you know I even want the case?
I promised you relaxation. If there's one thing I know about you, Sherlock, it's that nothing soothes you more than a good mystery.
How did you discover the body? In between guzzles of alcohol?
I was set to perform in a fecundity rite with Fabio and came to inquire further. It was a staged ritual where he was to play the principle of life.
And the rehearsal was unsuccessful?
Huh. Who knows? I found him alone on the altar, his blood dripping to the floor.
And then?
Then I called Mr. Manchios. He was panicking, so I told him about you. We left the room and locked the door. Then we were...
Filling time?
Waiting for you was stressful. We indulged in some simple comforts. Overindulged.
Oh non, un
perhaps.
cadavre. On va appeler Sherlock le temps qu'il arrive. Et bon, on va se détendre. Connaissez-vous la vie?
Were you well acquainted with Fabio, the victim?
Everyone knew Fabio, or wanted to. His beauty was the talk of the island. Too handsome to go unnoticed. He was magnetic. Fat wallets fought for the privilege of having him. He offered the pleasures of performance, and more.
What about the fertility ritual? There was something about Fabio being a principle of life.
Fabio was supposed to portray the beauty of life's origin. Flowers, oil. Not this travesty that seems straight out of the Inquisition.
So this ritual is not the fertility rite. What was it meant to look like?
It begins with a woman lying naked in a flower bed on the altar. She represents Gaia, the earth. As I cover her in oils, we chant for the principle. As our calls reach a climax, Fabio enters and copulates with her. After he finishes, I stab her with a dagger. That part's just pretend, of course.
But the intercourse is not?
I did not expect you to be such a prude. Are you a virgin? There's nothing to be ashamed of, but it would explain the color of your cheeks. The fertility rite marks the start of our festivities. The principle of life is beautiful, intimate, essential. It must not be stopped.
Yet it appears that someone did stop it. What about the naked woman? Can you tell me anything about her?
Oh yes, Matista. She's one of Fabio's compatriots and a performer too. I haven't seen her today, actually.
Ah, d'accord. Porte était-elle ouverte?
When you discovered the body, was the door open?
No, it was locked. Oh, that reminds me. It's a minor detail, but the first time I came to speak to Fabio, I left without entering, having been unable to open the door.
You didn't have the key?
No, I had it. Don't look at me like that. I was mostly sober. I suspect there was a key in the other side of the door, blocking the lock.
That detail may very well be major, Werner. Well done. So you returned later only to find the lock was not blocked?
Correct. After an hour had passed, I tried again and was able to unlock the door. That's when I discovered poor, handsome Fabio.
Observez. Alors...
The herbs here are Salvia divinorum. They have a slight hallucinogenic effect to emphasize the ceremony. This elaborate box must be for the ritual dagger. This oil has a slight aroma of flowers and olive. The ointment smells mouse-like. I presume it is an aphrodisiac prepared from a Spanish fly. This one looks like a twisted symbol of Venus drawn in a hurry.
Mince. On peut y passer. Force intéressante. Ah, on peut. Yeah.
Enough cigars to burn down the entire mansion. An open wound spoiled the carpet.
pas ouverte. C'est notre objet contendant.
Blood. A sturdy bottle met a not so sturdy human. It didn't break only because it was unopened. Why don't people tidy up after themselves?
What about a quick pillow fight?
Vraiment, John.
Identical to the robes the guests are wearing. The pitcher is empty, but with puddles around it. Blood clots are adhered to the sides of the drain. Props, decorations, and tools for a more detailed set.
Aha.
Similar to the guests' robes, apart from the bloodstains.
Là, c'est chouette.
Handcrafted and luxurious cufflinks. There's also a note. For my Fabio, Manchos.
Là, on a une...
The capital F on the key fob might refer to Fabio.
Fabio.
The key is similar to the one that Vogel gave me.
Would you recognize me in one of these? I suppose not.
This is a different ritual.
Alors, j'ai mis la main sur un guide pour une sorte de rituel avec une inscription écrite au début. Et entraînez-vous à accomplir ce rituel mensuel. Les femmes nues se... Ah non, la femme nue se tient étendue sur de fleurs recouvrant elle, symbolisant Mère Gaïa, la personne en charge du rituel. Faire sur le but d'éveiller sa fertilité. Les participants devraient à ce stade entamer l'homme qui est capable de satisfaire. Cet homme incarne le type de la vie, ça donne au plaisir de la chair. N'ignorez pas les invités, Matista, et cessez donc de les... Ils n'ont pas... Alors, ils n'ont que faire de vos inepties, ils sont là pour se délecter de leur propre et de la G. D'autre part, vous êtes... Célébrez le miracle. À chaque...
How can anyone accept such behavior?
A useful tool for a disguise arsenal.
You've got a lot to do, Sherlock.
Ouais, alors moi je suis désolé. Tu veux tes sacrifices. Observe des choses. Voilà.
A person leaned against the doorframe. They left a smudged trail of blood. The wounded person was here for some time. A bloody handprint on an armchair. There appear to be no further traces leading to the altar.
So, Sherry, do you have any ideas about the case?
Perhaps. I think I can deduce what happened here.